Hello students, welcome to the online tutorial for Vidhabhan Higher Secondary School. This video is for class 10 biology. In this video, I will continue with the fourth part of the chapter environment, its resources and their conservation. Okay, so let's not waste any more time and let's get started with the fourth part of the chapter environment, its resources and their conservation. So now we will start with the biodiversity and conservation. So at first we will learn about what is biodiversity. So the word biodiversity, what does it mean? Okay, so as from the word we can see there are two words, one is bio and another one is diversity. So what is bio? It is mean living things, right? And diversity means diversified species, or you can say diverse, or okay. So biodiversity, I mean diversified living things or diversified living species present in the geographical area. Okay, that means there are so many species, so many types of species present in a geographical area or in a particular region or in the total earth. There are so many species present. So this is termed as the biodiversity. That means diversity in the living things. Am I clear to the point? So this is termed as biodiversity, or in the actual name is biological diversity. Okay, this word was first used by Dasman. Okay, now later who actually coined the term or modified the term? Rosen. Okay, so this is about the biodiversity. Now we will learn about the importance of biodiversity. That means why it is important, why we will learn about it. So here is the thing. There are many importances, but at first we will discuss these first three. Point number one, that production of food. Yes, different plants and animals is producing our food. That means they are the source of our food. They are providing us food. Number two, production of drugs and medicines. That means we know there are so many medicinal plants that are being useful for us, to producing antibiotics, to producing medicines, to producing drugs that we will use for our welfare. Okay. Number three, maintenance of ecological balance. What happened? Ecological balance is actually maintained by whom? By the plants, by the animals, by the microbes. Okay, through what? Through food chain, through food web, through the energy flow. See, the plants are the producers. Then those plants are eaten by consumers. That means the animals. Now those consumers after their death will be decomposed into the soil by the decomposer. That means the microbes. So this is the chain through which the food chain, the energy flow chain. So in this way the ecological balance of the environment is maintained. Point number 4 will be climate control. Now what is it? You know that the climatic condition is maintained by several biogeochemical cycles, okay, that are taking place in between the interaction by diverse plants and animals. Okay, so this climatic control is actually maintained by the interaction between the diversified plants, animals and microbes through various biogeochemical cycles. Number 5, economic importance. See, various plants and their products, you can see in class 9 you have read about resin, latex, tannin, gum. Okay, these are what? These are economically important. That means it can be economically sold. That means it is profitable to us. So in this way these things are, that means in this way it is how economically important to us. Number 6, influence on art and literature. Now you will ask me that how it is putting an influence on these art and literature, because biodiversity actually forcing us, or actually helping us rather, to study the natural history of a particular area. Okay, now what we will do while we are studying biodiversity, we are doing bird watching, gardening, okay, or we are doing the painters, the musicians get inspired by the nature, okay, and creating their own music and art. Okay, so it is how they are getting influenced by the natural beauty, and thus it is affecting on the art and the literature. So these are the importance of the biodiversity. Now the next topic is biodiversity hotspot. So what is this biodiversity hotspot? That means the place, the particular place, a particular geographical area that contain high amount of or high level of species diversity in a particular geographical area. High species diversity in a particular geographic area. Okay, high species diversity in a particular geographic area which are endangered to extinction. That means that can be extinct. Okay. High species diversity in a particular geographical area which are endangered to extinction. That area is termed as the biodiversity hotspot. Okay. Now, generally all over the world, how many hotspot or how many biodiversity hotspot has been identified? 34. And India, we are getting only 4. What are the 4 biodiversity hotspot that are found in India? Eastern Himalaya, next is Indo-Burma, number 3 is the Western Ghat, number 4 is the Sundaland. So these are the 4 biodiversity hotspots that are found in India. Understood? Now the next topic is the loss of biodiversity. Loss of biodiversity. That means how the biodiversity are coming into extinction. That means what are the threats to the biodiversity? Obviously the threats are anthropogenic. Now what is this anthropogenic? What is this anthropogenic? Anthropogenic is the activity made by human. Anthro is related with human. Okay. So the activities which are related with human that are causing the loss of the biodiversity, those activities are termed as the anthropogenic. Okay. Now we will see that what are those causes. Number 1. Destruction of habitat due to change in land use pattern. So first point, that is that what happens, overpopulation, urbanization, industrialization, these require a huge amount of land. Now due to this, what happens, as we are requiring huge amount of land, the land which were once used by the animals, by the plants, okay, now their portion of land is reducing because we are snatching their land for our benefit. So in this way their habitat, their homes are being destroyed for our welfare. So destruction of habitat due to the change in the land use pattern. This is number 1. Number 2. Number 2 is hunting and poaching. We know that the illegal hunting and poaching is strictly prohibited. Okay. We are not allowed to hunt any of the animals like the tigers, the cheetah, the leopard, the rhinoceros. We are not allowed to hunt, but we still do it, which is very much illegal. The hunting, their hunting and the poaching of the skin or the horns or the teeth of the elephant. So these are very much illegal, but we do it. So by doing it, we are actually killing them. Thus, we are affecting or we are actually destroying the balance of the biodiversity. Number 3, global warming and climate change. What happens due to our excessive pollution? Okay, due to the excessive pollution, the greenhouse gases are being coming out, right? Now those greenhouse gases are doing what? They are increasing the temperature, leading to the global warming, and as the temperature is increasing, the ice of the polar regions are being what? They are being liquefied, thus resulting in the thus affecting the animals who are residing in those areas, as well as it is affecting the other areas also. Okay, so this is the effect of the global warming and climate change. Next is pollution. Pollution is very bad effect on the entire environment. Okay, overuse of pesticide, overuse of chemicals, overuse of the any kind of gas or anything else, doing what? It is actually harming the animals, the human beings, everyone. Okay. Number 5 is over exploitation. You know that the hills are fish. We are actually catching those fish immaturely and we are selling it in the market. So this is the over exploitation of a species. Next is natural calamities. Tornado, cyclone, volcano. These are the natural calamities affecting the biodiversity. Next is introduction to exotic species. Foreign species if being introduced along with the Indian species, what will happen? The foreign species, if it is of greater strength and greater resistance, then it will create problem for the sustenance of the Indian species. So these are the points which are threatening the biodiversity. Now we will learn about what are the environmental problems that are causing or affecting the Sundarban. It is the world's largest mangrove wetland ecosystem, as well as it is the largest Royal Bengal tiger reserve. But there are some problems that are affecting the Sundarban. We will see that. First of all, the mangrove trees are being cut off or being cleared by two main causes. First of all is the due to urbanization, that means due to building, due to shop. Okay. So for this reason, the mangroves are being cut off. Next is agricultural expansion. In order to for the agricultural expansion, in order to cultivate the crops, the mangroves are being cleared off. Number 3 is freshwater crisis. What happens? Reduced flow of the sweet water in the Sundarban mangrove system results into the crisis of the freshwater. Number 4, destruction of habitat. There is the continuous deforestation and destruction of the habitat by cutting down the mangrove trees. Number 5, pollution, which is a very major cause for the major threats for the Sundarban. Obviously, chemical pollution, hydrocarbon, sewage pollution. This results in the extinction of flora and fauna. Next is a disbalance in prey and predator number. Uncontrolled collection of prawn seedlings, uncontrolled fishing, poaching of tiger, spotted deer, these etc. resulted problem in food chain and food web of the ecosystem. Next is a number 7, submergence of islands due to rising sea level. Obviously, as the sea level has been rise, what happens? The islands have been submerged, which has a worst effect on the human beings. Next is climatic factors. Various natural disasters like cyclone, flood, etc. All these affect the mangrove system highly. The next is that conservation of biodiversity. That means how can we conserve the biodiversity? Obviously it is getting affected or it is getting depleted, so we need to conserve it. There are two methods of conservation. One is ex situ, another one is in situ conservation. What is ex situ conservation? When the organisms are being conserved outside their natural habitat. That is the ex situ. That means ex situ, outside the natural habitat. Example, zoological garden, botanical garden. In situ conservation means the organisms are being conserved within the within their natural habitat. That is the in situ conservation. Example, national park, sanctuary, biosphere reserve. Okay, these are the examples. Now there is a chart in your book containing the different methods of in situ conservation. There is a table. You will learn that table. Okay. And there is another thing, that different methods of ex situ conservation. You will read the examples from there. Like zoological garden example is Alipur Zoological Garden. Botanical garden example is Shivpur Howrah Botanical Garden. These examples you will read. Next is cryopreservation. It is another method of ex situ conservation. What happens? the part of the organism or any you can say tissue are being conserved at minus 196 degrees Celsius in the liquid nitrogen. Now when the situation is favorable, those parts can be taken out again in order to preserve, in order to prevent the extinction. Okay. Now the next is that red data book and green data book. What is red data book? It is containing the names of the endangered plants and animals. And what is green data book? It is containing the names and uses of the useful plants and animals. Okay. So this is the red data book and green data book. Next is the joint forest management. What is it? It is the way to conserve or to preserve a forest. What is happening over here? You see, the local people or the local community people merged up with the government people and they sacrificed or they take a move against the deforestation. Okay, they take a move to protect the forest, to restoration and management of the forest. Okay, this is the joint forest management. Understood? And what is this PBR, or you can say People Biodiversity Register? It is a register in which it contains comprehensive information on the availability and knowledge of different local biological resources, their medicinal use, commercial use, so on. And it is also written that how to conserve it, how can we promote conservation of those natural resources. In this way, it is being motivated to the common people and to create awareness about the management of the natural resources. One of the example of JFM, actually this joint forest management was first started in Paschim Mednipur district of West Bengal. Okay. Now another very well known example of JFM is the Chipko movement. Okay. This is a movement that is being carried out against the cutting of the trees. Many people have sacrificed their lives in order to prevent the cutting of the trees. Now in our book there are some endangered species of India and their conservation. There are 5 things you will see: conservation of tiger, rhinoceros, Asiatic lion, crocodile and red panda. You will learn the names, okay, from the book which is being given, like Sundarban Tiger Reserve in West Bengal, Joldapara National Park in West Bengal for rhinoceros. You will learn the names of it. Understood? So here we are completing this chapter. In my next video, I will do the exercise solving of the chapter. Thank you.